As a public defender, Judge Karen fought for her client's rights. She was elected to the bench because she believes in doing the right thing.
I'm very passionate about helping people, period. Sometimes life pulls you from up here to down here to teach you a lesson. And you're in a valley right now. And there are lessons in this valley. I hope you learn from them.
Objective, independent justice.
You can always turn your life around. If you keep walking, you can overcome whatever circumstances you're facing.
This is Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Carl Simmons is suing his neighbor, Chandra, in the amount of $500. Mr. Simmons claims he pulled a harmless prank on Mr. Chandra and says the defendant overreacted and punched him in the face.
Mr. Simmons, you're suing Mr. Chandra for $500. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And you are neighbors?
Yes, Your Honor. I've been living in the same neighborhood with Neek for about 2 years.
Were we friendly neighbors?
I was friendly with him. He wasn't friendly with me.
Why?
Because he just doesn't know how to behave. I mean,
what do you mean he doesn't know how to behave?
I mean, he's always kidding around, and he doesn't behave his age, and he doesn't know which is. At times, sometimes, he's very annoying.
Right. What does he mean that you're annoying and you kid around? What is he talking about?
Well, Your Honor, I'm a prankster. I'm a jokester. I'm a radio talent. So on my show, I have a morning show, and we do a lot of jokes. We do a lot of pranks. We call people.
Right.
So in my neighborhood, to bring people closer together, I do pranks and jokes, and most of my neighbors love it.
Like what kind of pranks and jokes have you done in the neighborhood?
So I saw some kids put some gum under some dollar bills and put them on the ground. So I did that in front of my house. So when people thought they were going to get a dollar bill, it was some gum. Just silly little stuff like
really?
that.
Silly for you. Not for me.
Did it hurt?
It was silly for the kids.
Did it hurt anyone? Did anybody get hurt by anything that
Not
he's
that
done?
I know of, Your Honor.
Okay. But you have a reputation for putting on pranks in the neighborhood.
All the time.
Yes, Your Honor.
All the time?
Yeah, well, sometimes I do. The reason is that when I moved in the neighborhood about 2 years ago, I was very ostracized because I was the youngest homeowner. I didn't have kids, and
Right.
it's very family oriented.
Okay.
So I invited all the kids to play basketball on my property anytime they wanted to ride their bikes.
You have a hoop in the yard?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have children?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did your children play hoops in his yard?
No, not really, because I'm not very comfortable. At times, he goes way overboard. I don't know how to
Like what?
explain
Tell me what he's done to go overboard.
Again, sometimes what happened was I can recall the very first time I met this dear neighbor of mine. I went to say hello. I shook his hands. It turned out to be a fake hand. And then,
That's
he was
funny,
like, he
Your
pulled it
Honor.
out
I'm
and
a
he started
prankster.
laughing
It's
at
like,
me.
hey, what's up,
and then
hello?
I was
Right.
literally embarrassed, and I was being a good neighbor. I just, very
That
polite.
was your very first encounter?
That was my very first inquiry, because I went to welcome him into the neighborhood about
And the hand came off.
I'm sorry, ma'am?
And the hand came
Yes.
off. Yeah, I don't think that's funny, especially if we just met and I don't know you like that. I would have bothered me.
Well, I thought it was
bothered
funny at the time.
Well, obviously you did, but I think it would have bothered the average reasonable person.
Okay.
So tell me, how do we end up in court now?
Okay, so while I was at first comfortable with the kids playing on my property, it got to the point that there was trash always left in my yard.
Right.
There was too many loose balls hitting my car
Right.
and my house windows, to the point that one of the windows cracked.
Okay.
So I just kind of got tired of it, and at that point we were all close enough for me to reach out to the parents and ask them to tell their kids to stop. I actually have text messages stating
Right.
to say, please stop allowing your kids to put trash on my yard.
Right.
They even put
But
dog
you-
poop on in my trash cans.
Right.
So,
But you were allowing this. You were encouraging this for a long time.
yeah, but I was encouraging the fun and
Right.
not, putting dog poop in my trash cans, and definitely
You
not
didn't
cracking
think that
my
was funny?
No, not at all.
See? Some people probably think that's funny.
Well, it
Like the
wasn't funny to
hand
me.
thing. You thought the hand thing was funny, and I didn't. And
all
maybe
the time,
some people.
all the time, Your Honor. I mean, I don't know. I can recall several instances, but I can tell you a few of them. There was, I think, during the Halloween, I was taking my son along to the neighborhood.
In Halloween.
Yes, at Halloween, and then he was dressed like a scarecrow, and then. And my son went in there to, he's excited. He looked at him, and then he just pounces on him. And this, my child is like, so scared. And I'm an overprotecting father. I know I'm a little sensitive about all those. Right?
Where were you set up as a scarecrow in your own yard?
In my own yard.
Right.
So, wow, it's Halloween. I thought it would be funny.
Right,
It wasn't like it was a random Tuesday at 5 p.m. that I was a scarecrow. It was Halloween.
It was Halloween,
yeah.
right. What do you expect? It's trick or treat.
Coming up on Supreme Justice.
I got punched in my face,
Right.
and so I'm like trying to get out the trash can at this point, and so I'm holding to my nose. I'm like trying to crawl out the trash can,
Right.
and I see his kid crying, so I feel bad,
Right.
but he's yelling at me.
And later,
I plugged in my tablet to put it up on the screen.
What did it say?
It said that I could not log in for 25,000 minutes.
closed captioning provided by. If you'll be in the Los Angeles area and want to bring your case to court, call 1-888-552-6878. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Carl Simmons, who is suing Anik Chandra for medical expenses.
So you send out this text message to everybody that I don't want the kids in my yard anymore. They're making a mess, whatever. Then what happened?
So I text them, and I have I printed out the text messages, and basically it was saying that I was tired of the dog poop, I was tired of the trash, so please, tell your kids that the agreement is pretty much over. And everybody, including Anik, agreed.
So
and
you
confirmed
agreed
it.
what? That you weren't going to let your kids in the yard?
Well, what I did was, before I even did that, I sent a polite text to him, Your Honor. I told him that, his clown behavior is over the top.
Let me see what you sent.
It's right here. And I asked him to, little bit tone it down. And I was being very polite to him.
Which I
and
did,
he
Your
never
Honor.
stopped doing that.
And as you see there, I agreed, and I stopped.
Yeah, he agreed. All right, so why are we here today?
So the reason why I'm suing Anik for $500 is that at the end of his work shift, he will come home and walk his dog. And I knew that since my house is at the end of the cul-de-sac and there's a middle patch of grass, you would have to walk past my house to possibly get back to your house. And and 2 to 3 times I would look out my window and I saw him put the poop in my trash can after I told him not to.
So this incident happened when your trash cans were like this out on the street?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so what happened?
So after that, I decided since he can't follow my, my asking my directions, the very next day was April Fool's Day. And as a jokester, that's my favorite day of the year.
Right.
So I said, I'm going to wait until he comes home and walks his dog. So I waited a few houses down from my house in my car, and I was just trying to see if whoever was going to trespass on my property.
Okay.
And so when I saw him, I said, this is the perfect time to get out of my trash can and do a prank. So when he walked past my house, I got a step ladder and went to the recycle bin, and I hopped in the trash can.
Right.
I hear somebody opening the recycle bin. I was in the recycle bin.
Right.
I hear somebody opening my trash can. So I popped out to, just to alert them, to scare them.
Somebody was opening the black bin.
Yes, and it was Anik.
Okay, and so you remember this?
I do, Your Honor.
Okay, so what happened when he jumped out?
So my kid got scared.
Right.
And then he was, actually was zapped, and I didn't know what to do. And so my hand went, I kind of punched him, and it was unintentional. It was not, it was just a reflex action, just a father, I protect my kid.
So you were standing in the front of these cans when he jumped out?
Yes, because what happened was my kid opened the trash can, and then he dumped the...
So your kid used my trash can.
You don't ask the questions, here I do. Thank you.
Sorry, Your Honor.
So when my kid dropped that,
Right.
trash
Your
in there-
kid opened the trash can
Right.
and put garbage in it.
Right,
Okay.
right. As soon as you done, this guy, this clown, pops up
Right.
from there. I mean, come on, there
And
is
so what
limit
happened? You
for
got
everything.
punched?
Yeah, I got punched in my face,
Right.
and so I'm like trying to get out the trash can at this point, and so I'm holding to my nose. I'm like trying to crawl out the trash can,
Right.
and I see his kid crying, so I feel bad.
Right.
But he's yelling at me like, "What's your problem? Why are you doing
How did you
this?"
get out of this can?
I kind of just had to like fall over
And crawl out of the can?
yeah. So I'm holding one nose and using one hand to crawl out. It was a
Right.
mess.
Okay, so what's the $500 represent?
It's for my health insurance deductible because I had to get realignment surgery.
On your nose?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. This is kind of what happens when you play pranks.
Well, Your Honor.
Who expects anybody, especially you, to be in the trash can? Number one.
Well, Your Honor,
Number two is they're now out on a public way. They're on the public right of way. The police officer can seize your garbage if it's on the public right of way. They don't need a search warrant. If it's on your property, because it's then considered to be yours. But here, they could have seized what you put in here because it's now public access.
Well,
So the fact that his kid threw poop in there is not a defense to the fact that you are outside on a public street inside of a garbage can. I would think that you would have just learned your lesson and gone on about your business. But instead, you've now brought a lawsuit about this?
Well, Your Honor, the reason why I did that is because I tried it his way. He asked me to stop with the pranks, and I
Right.
did that for 2 whole months.
Right.
And then after he let his child, for whatever reason, use my trash can,
Right.
after I asked you
It
to
was
ask
out on the public. It was on the public right of way.
But-
it's not. He did not come onto your property and use your can.
But, Your Honor-
I think that you spent 2 years pranking this neighborhood, and you were 2 months too late in deciding it was over, and it wasn't really over because you got your butt back inside of a garbage can. I'm ready to rule. Judgment for the defendant. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
I'm sorry I scared your son, but I want you to respect me as a neighbor.
I will respect you once you grow up, my friend.
Coming up,
I plugged in my tablet to put it up on the screen. It said that I could not log in for 25,000 minutes.
So let me ask this question. They talk about this cloud. I don't know if I believe it's out there.
Right.
Does your stuff go to cloud?
closed captioning provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Eve Baker is suing her roommate, Myra Paulson, in the amount of $1,200. Ms. Baker claims she missed an important work deadline after Ms. Paulson's son locked her out of her tablet.
Ms. Baker, you're suing Ms. Paulson for $1,200.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, and what's your relationship with the defendant?
She was a leasee in my home.
And it was just the two of you?
No, she moved in with her son.
So your son was there. How old is your son?
I have a 3-year-old son named Tyler.
Okay, so Tyler was there. All right, so then what happened here? Why are we here today?
We had a client that we were trying to land for the advertising organization that I work for. And I have a program on my tablet that I work from to create the graphics. I do
Right.
the graphics for the presentation. So I tend to work at the table in the dining room. And I leave my work, and we had agreed that
Right.
my work wouldn't be touched.
Right. You use the dining room as your office?
I usually work at my office on location.
No, I understand, but at home, when you're doing work, you use the dining room there?
Yes.
So what happened?
I got to work to do the presentation,
Right.
and I plugged in my tablet to put it up on the screen, and it had a sign. I have the picture here, a screenshot.
What did it say?
It said that I could not log in for 25,000 minutes.
Let me see what she has. 25,000 minutes. How many days is that?
18.
Oh. Next login in 20. That doesn't even make any sense. This is what was on the computer screen?
On my tablet, yes.
Okay.
My tablet has a thing, if you mis-enter the password 3 times.
It locks you out of your own tablet for 18 days?
If you do it once, it's 5 minutes. So however it got to 25.
Yeah, but who gets locked out of a tablet for 18 days? Where'd you get that?
It's part of my work package. It's what I got from work.
Your employer provided that?
Yes.
Well, you are up without a paddle.
Yes,
for
I
18 days. You go on vacation and come back.
Yes, I could.
For that amount of time, because you can't do any work.
Right.
So let me ask this question. They talk about this cloud. I don't know if I believe it's out there.
Right.
Does your stuff go to cloud?
It didn't at the time.
What do you mean it didn't at the time?
It does now.
Coming up.
So you've allowed a 3-year-old to play on your work tablet?
With me, sitting with him.
That's not how children think. You got kids?
No.
I don't have any either, but I know that's not how they think.
Closed captioning provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen. Supreme Justice is back with the case of Eve Baker, who is suing Myra Paulson for lost income.
But if your employer had this program,
it was meant to be connected to the network at work.
Right. Yeah, but the cloud is wireless.
Right. I have to sign in to allow the program to download.
Right, and you didn't do that?
I couldn't.
So did Tyler have anything to do with this? Or you?
On the day of the event, she came through the room and was just in a rush, in a panic, like she'd woken up late and she was in a hurry, grabbing things and...
Right, so she grabbed her tablet.
And ran out the door. And
so you never saw him at the tablet?
No, no ma'am.
He ever touched her tablet before, in your knowledge?
Yes, actually, he has. And it's actually on Sundays, they, Eve and Tyler get together and they actually play on the tablet together.
So you've allowed a 3-year-old to play on your work tablet?
With me, sitting with him.
That's not how children think. You got kids?
No.
I don't have any either, but I know that's not how they think. They don't think, oh, I better wait for that nice lady to come home before I go over. Let me hold back on my impulses to go play that game until that lady comes home. And they don't think like that. He sees it up there, and he starts playing with it.
But if Myra had been watching him...
If you had put it away, because you have a child, there's no way I would have left my work tablet around a 3-year-old.
Judge Karen's verdict when Supreme Justice returns. Promotional consideration provided by. You're watching Supreme Justice with Judge Karen.
You basically created this situation. You weren't being responsible.
Your Honor, I've done it before, and I've had no problems.
It's just a matter of time. That's why you're here, and I'm not giving you the money. What's this $1,200 anyway?
So it was a group project, and they did land the client, but because I could not do my part of the presentation, I was dropped from the group and therefore denied my part of the bonus.
Right, okay. Well, so then you learned a very valuable lesson, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
What did you learn?
To not rent to children.
Is that what, you know what? If that's what you learned, so be it. You wouldn't be here on that type of case then, all right? But I'm gonna rule in favor of the defendant. Good luck to you.
Judge Karen has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim has been denied.
It was an innocent mistake. I really hope you can forgive Tyler and me.
I'm just glad you're out of my house.
This has been a production of Entertainment Studios.